Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am in the middle of preparing for my art shows that are coming up. I have actually one on September 20th, and I am going through some photos to find some stuff for Dreamland while I'm also getting prints done and stuff for my upcoming shows. So, kind of just wanted to go through some things that I have found that worked for me with editing and kind of giving you guys the workflow that I go through while I'm trying to, when I come home and I'm actually working on photos. So this is kind of just a way to give you some insights and stuff. And I actually found a couple of new little tools that I like too inside of Lightroom. Disclaimer real quick about Lightroom, or not disclaimer, more like an advice piece. All editing in Lightroom is non-destructive editing. You can actually edit it and it shows in the history everything you do, and you go back to the beginning or you can go back to another point. So Lightroom is a very good way to play with your images and kind of get them tuned to where you want for your style and your field. Before I go any further, if you like this kind of content, you like these videos, you like what you see, don't forget to give it smash that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment, and I will kind of post a question later on down the road to see if anybody, how far people got, and we can kind of go from there. So, going on. This is me working on some stuff for Dreamland. Dreamland is my new project that I'm working on for some art shows, a book, and some other stuff that I'm doing. The basis of my concept is that the definition of Dreamland is something that is unrealistic and unimaginable. Well, to me, landscape photography is very realistic and very imaginable. You just have to be there. The ultimate goal is to get out and go create your art, create what you're looking for, that kind of stuff. So you can go from there and everything. So with that being said, this is me showing you guys some couple images that I'm working on that I found that I kind of forgot. The first one that I'm working on is I have a print already done of it, but I think this one might turn out to be a little bit better from some tests that I was running on everything. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So this is a non-edited photo. There's nothing really done in it. Nothing in any of the sliders. So what we're going to do is, the first thing I always do is I always like to bring up the exposure a little bit, kind of give me some work where I'm going. Then I'll go down here to this might be a little fast for you, so if you have questions, just ask and I can go through things. Go to your lens corrections. Fix the distortion first and then fix the vignetting. The vignetting will show you kind of like corners and stuff. And then what you can do is, when you're done doing that, I always go into cropping. So you can always use this. This will crop across a horizon to fix a horizon line for you. And see how it straightened everything out for you? The horizon lines are your best way to do that. You can also use the ignore that one. I didn't mean to hit that auto button. You can actually go to the auto in here, and it will auto crop it for you too. Both are either way you want to do it. It's just something, depending on how you feel about it. Then I like to mess with my my temp slider. You can start out with doing like daylight. You can use your color dropper if you find a white to use somewhere, or an 18% gray. That will give you a good, balancing to balance out the color. And then it's just going through your sliders and your exposure, kind of, fixing your exposures up, getting where you want to be, your shadows, your highlights. Always try to play with everything a little bit, kind of see what it does, move it back and forth. Said this is non-destructive editing. Non-destructive editing gives you the ability to kind of mess with stuff the way you want. My favorite one is, I love clarity, because you can watch, if you see how sharp things get with clarity and how much more in focus things are. Mess with saturation will kind of change the color a little bit. Vibrance will kind of make things pop a little bit more. One of the things with photos like this, and you have the sky, is you have two options you can use to work on editing just the sky. You have the sky tool, or you have a linear gradient. And linear gradients can be flipped to be used on the bottom part of the photo too. So you can actually go to sky. I like the sky tool. I think it's really good because it's really good at detecting everything for you and kind of helping out with you focusing on just that part. And then you kind of just get here and you can kind of work on, you know, just the sky part. And this gives you the ability to kind of create that more moodiness and that dream aspect of it. And this is creative editing. This is, not, trying to misrepresent anything. This is just an editing style that I do. My photos are very realistic. The photo that I took, this is a underexposed image by 2 brackets. I always bracket my photos when I'm shooting at a water, at a lake or on water of some sort like this, and then with a storm rolling through. The bracketing helps with capturing the shadow detail and being able to give you that, seeing that out there, which is that's the rain coming in, and this is the storm rolling through, and this is the clear skies coming in behind it. So it gives you the ability to kind of play around with that. Once you're done with that, you can go in and you have I will sharpen just a little bit of detail, just to sharpen, just give it a little bit of push. And then, as I said, you can brighten them up, or you can go, kind of bring the mood down. But once you get it kind of where you want, which is kind of, this is like where I want to be, I always use the NYX software set. And I always use Color Efex Pro 4 and Silver Efex Pro 2. So Color Efex Pro 4, I use it for the Pro Contrast, which what that does is it shows you it gives you the ability to kind of color correct some stuff. It also shows you the ability to kind of add a dynamic contrast, which is something that really makes my photos pop a little bit more. So I'm hoping you guys are going to like what you see when I show you this. And no, I'm not sponsored by any of these people. This is just me showing you how I do my stuff and how I work everything. And then, as I said, I do Pro Contrast. I reset it every time I do it, and then you can just do the color balance. I like the color correction because it kind of fixes stuff. Then if you do correct contrast, I like correct contrast, but you don't want to blow this highlight out because it just makes the image look bad. So what you do is just enough to not blow that highlight out. And then you go in and see you see how that dynamic contrast is right in those clouds. Let everything pop, and look at how the water looks and the sand looks. Everything is more detailed, and that is what I like. So that right there is where I would be. You can actually, after you do that, you can see if you can do it any more on the highlights. See if the highlights are going to blow out if you go any higher on that contrast. So you can go play with that a little bit, and then once you're done, go ahead and click on that, and it will go ahead and finish that off for you. And then I have another one I want to show you with this, because this is, when I see images like this, I like to do both a color version and I like black and white, because black and white gives you that old vibe, the very, nostalgic feel, but also I'm a black and white fanatic. I love black and white images, and I think we don't give black and white photography enough love these days, because we're so stuck into colored and how colored images look, where black and white is definitely a style that is definitely missed. So this is hopefully something that you guys will enjoy once it gets ready to go. So this is the image. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back in here, and we're going to go down to Silver Efex Pro 2, and we're going to edit. Silver Efex Pro 2 is a really good black and white editing. If you bought anything out of the NYX software, buy just this. This is flat out worth it. I love the different styles they give you, but also the ability to create your own way you want to do it. So I usually start with neutral, but this one I love how it goes with the Underexposed, which is an EV1. You can actually bring up this just a little bit, but my favorite thing I like to do is you can actually, then you can just add, if you watch this structure, watch how it goes. It gives you more detail in the clouds and down here and everything. What that does is that gives you the ability to give yourself a more dynamic image and more visually pleasing and popping. This kind of image will capture people's eyes when they walk by. If you have a framed, big framed photo, this is one of my most popular images that I've had. The other one that I have printed off, but this one I think will be really popular too, because people really do enjoy how that scene looks. And then this is pretty much done, so I would just save it and go from there. After I get done in Lightroom, I do move things over to Photoshop. In Photoshop, all I do is literally edit for. I don't edit for anything. I actually size it to get ready for print, and then size it for web, so I can show it on the web. And then I also watermark it when it's on the web. So this is the finished image in the black and white. And then the last image I want to show you was this one. This is another underexposed image, intentionally. As I said, I always like to work with exposure first, so that, and then I'll go down here and I'll always fix this, and you can go to fix the distortion and the vignetting. The vignetting is always determined on how you want to do, and then you can go ahead, and this is kind of somewhat unbalanced in the horizon, so you can fix it that way. What I will do is I will bring this up. I want that little part right here in, so I'm done with it. So I'll hit enter, and then you kind of have more of a balanced image in terms of straight horizon and all stuff and everything. And then you can start working on doing your editing. So go through there, go through here, and then you can kind of just do your adjustments. And kind of work on different things. I did find a new tool also in here when I was working on these before I started recording, because I always wanted to see what things do. This objects, so you can go here, take this object, and you can kind of just put it across anything that you want that's in an image, and it will go through and it will detect it for you, and then it will highlight it. Then you can go in and you can actually adjust it to fix if there's anything that's been too underexposed or too dark. That way you can get kind of some more detail in it, because it kind of would make the image pop a little bit more. And that's all I would do with that, is just kind of give the overall life of the image a little bit more. So after that, I would work on my highlights, my contrast a little bit. I would actually do a sky edit on this because of that. Because of the way the sky is, I want to make it dramatic even more than it already is. So I would add more detail into the sky, and that's just by dropping the exposure just a little bit. And then when I get this into Color Effects Pro 4, it will definitely get some drama and dramatic feeling into it. So there's that. So what I would do then is I would go ahead and go into Photoshop, and I would pull up, I went into Photoshop, I didn't mean to go into Photoshop. I may edit in Color Effects Pro 4, and then I would pull that up, and we will work on that and show you where the images are. I always move things I don't save them to the hard drive, then pull them into Photoshop. I just edit them and send them over to Photoshop as an edit, because it saves time, and it's just easier that way. And then I'll save it on the hard drive after I get done, watermarking and doing what I need to do there. So yeah, and I did move it over to Photoshop, which I didn't kind of want to do. So you can actually close that out, go back into Lightroom. See, Color Effects 4 is loading. Okay, since Color Effects 4 Pro is loaded, we'll go to Pro Contrast, reset it, and then you can watch this work. See the cooler tones pop out, and then you can actually create a really, see how the color contrast works. So just play with the sliders with this. This definitely is fun. You can actually do this. You watch how that drama unfolds in that. And you can see the detail still in the log, the water, everything looks so crisp and clean, and it's just a very good, easy way to edit to create a final signature, image. Every like artist has a signature with their photos, and that's something that people need to realize is, as a photographer, artist, and stuff, you want to create a signature. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. What was your favorite thing that you saw, and what would you guys do differently? I like to have good conversations with people about stuff. So what would you do differently? What would you like to see? I will have more of these coming because I actually have a lot more images that I want to go through and kind of see what I can do with some new stuff that I learned, and everything. Keep learning, keep going out and shooting. And don't forget to create art. I will show you guys some stuff coming up from the show coming up on the 20th, and I look forward to talking to everybody. I will have the finished images on the end of the video for everybody to see. Have a great day, and I can't wait to show you guys more. Until then, go out and create some more art, please.